Huh? I'm live? Hello? Well, I guess I am. I was checking all my other emails. Hello, everybody. This is Jeffrey Ripe Color, and I believe that Nancy is having problems, technical problems, and we're going to be patient together. Wow. All right. So Nancy gave me a little. You got to roll with the punches. Like that's the world we live in. It's the story of my life. So Nancy gave me a little preview of some of the questions, and one person had asked if we send energy to Gaia or Gaia. I like to say Gaia. Does she get it? And it's like, absolutely. Absolutely. Energy, we're all energy beings. The earth is an energy being. All humans are energy beings. All animals, the earth as a whole, the solar system, et cetera, et cetera. And our energy is so vast and so big that with our intent, and now I'm back. All right. So if you're here and you're patient, God bless you. So, yeah, if we send love to the earth, the sentient beings that make up the earth, absolutely. I mean, I do it every day. I do it every day. I actually have a conversation. I have I don't know if it's a conversation. It's a dialogue. When we meditate on sending healing, loving, grateful thoughts to Gaia, does she feel the love? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I do it every day. So my basic meditation every day is I close my eyes, I get into the light of my heart, I let everything else go, I allow it to expand. I fill it with joy, I fill it with love, I fill it with gratitude. One of those things, all of those things, clarity. And then I intend from my heart to send like a plumb line through my lower chakras into the heart of the earth. I see and feel her or them accept it, receive it, and then she sends back, and it changes my light. And and I thank her for the plants and the animals and my life and the weather and whatever comes up, and I feel her receive it, and then she sends back, because you send and you receive, you send and you receive, and that is really the very basic beginning of my meditation every single day. And then from my heart, I send it up to my guides and angels. I do the same thing, and I receive back, and I get messages, and I get feelings. But I'm going to throw some cards on it, okay? Your name is Pat Lee. Hi, Pat Lee. All right. I'll throw some cards on it. How's that? And Nancy will be with us. Maybe she's going from purple to hair to like blue hair. Who knows? Maybe it's a big surprise. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I have the Five of Swords. Oops. The Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords is like a change in thought. So maybe it's really like allowing your thought to open, change it, right? It's like, oh, it's not really getting it. It's like, yeah, it is. And then I have the Page of Cups, which is really a healing. It's really a healing. It's information, it's intuition, but at the end of the day, it's a healing. It's like, here I am with all my enthusiasm and all, like, this is you. And I always read cards as you. Here I am with all my enthusiasm all my love, all my intuition, all my healing, sending it to you. And it's a page. So pages have this energy of youth, of enthusiasm, of, this real trusting energy in the page. Like that's the real deal. It's like, it's very trusting, right? New. Yeah, it'll work. It's a little bit like, what do you call it? Judy and Mickey, we're going to we're going to put on a show, and it all works out. And then I have the card of judgment, which is beautiful. So it's there's a lot going on with this card, but at the end of the day, in this reading, this is a card of resurrection. It's a card of resurrection, right? And there's a communication. There's a communication. The thing is, too, is like this is heaven and this is another realm, right? And we're the conduit between the two. We're the conduit. So continue to send loving, healing, beautiful thoughts, and ask for, ask to receive back, because maybe you need that little, you know, acknowledgement, right? Which I understand, you know. Everything's an omen to me because, I'm a bit of a intuitive. Nice way to put it. All right. Nancy, I guess you're there because you put up the questions. So I'm ready for the new question. I feel like I'm the host and the co-host. The general reading, Prime 3. Nice name. And might as well do a little rat-tat-tat with business. Both Nancy and I offer private readings. If you're interested, it's available on either one of our sites. Nancy's site is Crystal Directions with an S, and mine is Ripe Color without an S. Oh, interesting. All right. This is very interesting. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I didn't know it was, okay, now you know. That's the Gmail. All right. So we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is really, it's a 5, first of all, because I have another 5, so I wanted to talk about 5. 5 is really a card of change, and it's a card of like a perception, because it's change. The Hierophant is the Pope. So the understanding of the Hierophant in its highest place is receiving information from heaven, receiving information from a higher source of organization, of hierarchy, of how to put things together, of how to build things, receiving that information and then making them so on this plane. And I always, a lot of times I talk about the Hierophant because it's anything that's really established. So this could be the card of law. This could be the card of marriage. This could be the card of government, of traditional religion. It's very traditional. Corporations, medicine as an entity, academia, all that, right? So it's something very solid and very um, unwavering. Let's put it that way. Okay. But then I have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is really interesting. So the Hanged Man is really a willing self-sacrifice. That's what it is. And it's not like, oh, I have to give this up and it really feels awful. It's like I'm giving this up because I know that I'll be better off. It's not like I'm kicking and screaming, oh, I have to give this up and I hate it and this is this is it's like ripping something out of my body. It's not like that at all. It's this energy of stopping and pausing and saying to yourself, what thought patterns or what actions or what experiences are around in my life that don't really serve me anymore, and that I'm willing to just shed. I'm willing to shed them. And once I make that room, a new energy and a new thought pattern can come. Okay. So because I have the Hierophant, there might be something super duper established in your life, where you work, where you live. And then this one comes through and says, I don't think that's working anymore. And then I have another card of 5 of change, right? And this could be like a lot of different ideas and energies. But I think if you sit still long enough, you're going to realize the one that's the priority, the one that is most fertile, the one to use, the one to change. Because sometimes we want to change everything all at once. It's like, change one thing at a time. So that's the energy. It's the energy of change and the energy of letting go, right? And it can happen rather quickly. And trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. She's the empath. She is the empath, and she's really motherly. So it's really trust my intuition as to what the most loving action, attitude, experience is that I want to have, be in, live with, and the ones that don't work, I I let them dissipate. I let them. It's not even, it's not this big conflama drama. It's like I just let them fade away. I just let it fade away, right? Because there's water here. So, very interesting. That's what I get for you, Prime 3. Chrome is doing me in. Chrome. Evil, evil Chrome. All right. Okay, I'm ready for the next question, Nancy. Oh, I have a message. Okay. I would love a general reading on the next 6 to 12 months, please. Thank you. Cheryl. Okay, I'm going to put the cards together. I even have a towel because sometimes people complain. It's like, oh, you shuffle too loudly. Well, I'm a very assertive person. And I also wanted to mention, as I'm shuffling, Nancy and I are going to be collaborating on tarot classes. So we put together a schedule, basically. It's 6 weeks, 6 weeks. So it's really intensive. And I think it will work for someone who's new, for someone who's intermediate, for somebody who's advanced. And we're going to split it up into the 6 weeks. We're going to go through the numbers, right? Because the numbers are very important. That's 1 week. And really learn those numbers, right? 1 through 10. And then we're going to have another one where we discuss all the suits, wands and cups and pentacles, etc. And I think that same week we're going to discuss the king, queen, page, and knight. Then we're going to have one of the Fool's Journey, because that's really like the story of the tarot, the road of the tarot, and how one card leads into another, and they symbolize different moments in our lives, different energies. Then we're going to have one on past lives, and then we're going to have one on spreads, like, how do I lay out the cards? Well, you could do 3-card layout, a 4-card layout, etc. Celtic cross. We'll describe those. Nancy has a lot of decks. She's going to show you a lot of decks and how to interpret the meanings into new decks. And this is really about getting in touch with your own intuition. That's really what it's about. Very interesting. All right, I always say that. It's my favorite word. Well, it's my favorite word on YouTube. All right, so I have the 2 of Swords. Then I have the 7 of Wands, and then the 7. So 7's, by the way, confidence. Confidence. Twos are about choices. Two is always about choice. It's about duality, but it's really about choice. So the way I understand this card, okay, is she's these are antennae. I always understand this card as this deeply interior, intuitive understanding. She's blindfolded. Did she put the blindfold on herself? I'm not sure. Did someone else put on her? Maybe. I'm not really sure. It depends on the reading. Um, and there she's sitting, right? So she can't see, but she senses that she's by the sea. She senses it's like, I think the water's really close, or I think the water's really far, or it seems like all of a sudden the sea got rougher. She has to rely on something other than her sight. She's in this place of receiving messages other than her sight. So it could be feeling, it could be hearing, it could be sensing, right? And here she is sitting contemplating, and there's a certain peacefulness to this card because it's very symmetrical. It's like I'm going to take a moment out and be at peace and check in with myself and see what messages I get, right? And what happens is there's this new land in the background, right? And I always feel like that one, right? I can't. It's very hard. It's backwards, forwards. Um, it's this new land. I feel like it's this volcanic land that came up because there's nothing growing on it yet. So it's really, really new land. It's a really new opportunity. It's a new way of looking at things, but it's in the subconscious. But because she's sitting and communing with herself and with her senses, other than her sight, um, there's like a new idea forming in the background, or a new opportunity, or a new land, or a new safe place, etc., coming up that she's becoming aware of. Not She's not quite aware, but she's becoming aware. And then we have the Seven of Wands, and sometimes you could read this as defensiveness, but I always read it because it's a seven. It's like, have confidence in yourself. It's like, oh, well, all these people want to get to the top of the hill. It's like, well, that's nice, but I'm on the top of the hill. Good luck. Good luck, right? I could throw things at you. So sometimes this is like either the people around us or our own thoughts saying, oh, you can't do this. You can't. It's like you have the high ground. You have the high ground. So intuitively, you get a message of creativity or passion. It's like, stay your ground. Stay your ground. You're in a good position. You're in a better position than you think you are. And then I have the seven. So this is traditionally the card of the thief, right? I mean, look at him. But you know what I love to tell you this? Because it's confidence, right? He goes to the enemy camp in the middle of the day with red boots and a red hat. He's not wearing like a disguise. He's like, come and get me. I'm going to take all the stuff that you need and run with it. But this is also, it's like, there's this energy of like, I'm going to trust my own thoughts, and I'm not going to pick up stuff that I don't need. I'm only going to take what I need and trust my own thoughts and run with them right? And there's also sometimes an energy in this card of, I don't know what to say. It's almost like there's this great business idea because we all want to create, like, the next, greatest thing that ever, the next internet. It's like there are great ideas out there. Utilize them and make them yours. Utilize them and make them yours. But this is really about trusting your intuition and then having confidence in the messages and the instinct that you get, and then running with it. Not relying on everybody else's opinion, not relying on, oh, I can't do it, I can do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. Just do it. Just do it. Oh, I'm going to make a mistake. Well, of course you're going to make a mistake. You know how many mistakes I make a day? Plenty. None so far today. So, interesting transition. And confidence. This is really about self-confidence. And sometimes you have to act like you have confidence even though you don't, right? Because we all have that, like, oh, I can't do it. It's like, whatever, watch me. That's what I get for you, Cheryl. Listen to Jeffrey. I feel like I should be changing my outfit between readings. All right. I'm ready for the next one, Nancy. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh, good. Okay. I would love to have a reading for September and October. I feel the changes. All right, Cindy. We all feel the changes, believe me. I like the fall. I mean, I like the summer. I like the spring. The winter, I'm not so thrilled with, but I like the fall. It's fertile. And actually, what I just got was, yeah, it's a good time to plant seeds. You know, it's a good time to plant seeds, whatever that means. So it's like, well, I'm planning on going to school in the spring and maybe I'll take one class. Or, um, I'm planning on changing something in the house and I'm going to get prepared for it. Maybe I'm going to redo a room. Maybe I'm going to get rid of the furniture. It's time to prepare. Like that's what I get initially without the cards. September, October. Okay. Mañana es septiembre. My fantastic Spanish. Oh, look at that. Wow. You get great cards, girl. I have the Ten of Cups, which is like the promise coming true. This is like being emotionally satisfied, feeling safe, feeling comfortable, feeling warm, knowing your blessings, being grateful for them and being in them and being with them and really feeling them. It's not, because it's like people say, "Oh, make a gratitude list." It's like I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for. It's like no, I really feel it. I really feel it. All the love, really lovely. Now I have the Lovers, really nice card. I think it's the most beautiful in the deck, actually. Card of Gemini. This is really about okay, there's a lot going on here. So, a lot of people, you could read this as love, but you could also read this as a choice. You could also read this as duality. But you know what it feels like? It never feels like duality. It feels like opposites combining. It's the opposites combining. So, it's either the masculine feminine energy combining, which is like the combination of the intuition and the intellect, right? So the feminine aspect receives, right? So that's the intuitive, and then the masculine aspect acts, and that could be the intellect, or it could be like take a physical action. The other thing about this card is like there's this energy of contract. There's an energy of contract between a man and a woman, or between the two sides of yourself, and it's also the energy of a contract between man and God, like you individually with spirit, you individually with your guides, you individually with angels, you individually with heaven. And sometimes we need to like renew a contract. Sometimes we need to renew a contract. It's like, okay, this is what you've given me, this is where I'm at. And I want to express more gratitude. I want to express more love, right? And this is the angel of light. This is Uriel. This is the angel of light. Okay. And in that, it's beautiful energy. And then we have the three, which is really, really exciting and really expansive and really looking forward to the future, full of hope. Anytime you see a big, big yellow card, and this is one of them, it's full of hope. It's full of optimism. It's full of happiness. It's full of desire. It's full of um, illumination. So it's creative, and it's this energy of the anticipation of good things. I'm anticipating really, really good things. I'm anticipating that contract coming through. I'm anticipating my loving friend coming to visit. I'm anticipating my business being really successful. I'm anticipating it's like that. It's like that. There's also it's also the international card. So this could be this could be you involved with a global business, a global, somebody from a different culture, um, and there's an expansiveness to it, right? There's this like a new energy coming in, a really nice new energy. Yeah, and you get very very busy, paying attention to detail, doing what you need to do, enjoying your work, enjoying what you do, deeply enjoying what you do. So he's in so much enjoyment, he's in bliss. Like he does this certain thing every day, and he's so into it, and he's really like, it's like being in heaven. It's like being in the Garden of Eden. Between these cards, and that opens your mind up to new stuff. Great. Yeah, this is interesting because I'm leaving the past behind. I'm leaving the past behind. I'm going to a safe place in my head. I'm leaving the past behind. I'm not turning around. I always feel like this is Lot's wife. I mean, I have a lot of meanings to this card, but to me, this, it's like it's that energy of Lot's wife. It's like there's nothing in the past. Don't even bother. The future is in the future. The future is in the future, and I feel it, and I know it, and I'm going toward it. Yeah, toward my dreams. Toward my dreams. Um, the thing about this card, sometimes people read it as illusion delusion, but I mean, for me, it's like confidence in your emotional state, right? It's an energy of that, and there's also an energy of like you can choose to have whatever you want, so go after what you want, not what other people want, right? Not what other people say you should want, right? Not what other people say you should want. Oh, everyone says I should buy a house. It's like that's nice. What I really want to do is travel. So that's what I'm going to do. It's a really lovely reading. Beautiful cards. Beautiful. That was my reading for you, Sandy. Okay. Questions from chat. I haven't even looked at the chat. I've been busy. Is the fall open up more consistent improvement in my dancing? Patricia, why don't you make a video? Why don't you make a video? Because I always see you, right? And you're always talking about dancing, and it's like, well, how does she dance? Does she dance like this, or does she dance like that? People dance on the street here, like all the time. It's really, really, really beautiful and really, really lovely. And what's interesting? There's no shame. There are so many people who can't really dance, and they don't care. It's like, yeah, I came here to have a good time, and they just dance away. It's really nice. It's really, really very special. Makes it a magical place. Open up more consistent improvement of my dancing. Okay. It feels like you already know it is. That's what it feels like. All right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, invite it in. Okay, so here we go. 4, stability. Stabilize your thoughts, get really quiet. And then, it's like, okay, this is what I need to concentrate on. This is what I need to work on. This is where I'm being led, right? Just you get quiet and then you receive. That's what happens. And there's also, this is, sometimes it's the energy of, I don't know what, the convalescence, right? So, because you're a dancer, you have to really give yourself time to rest too. That's a big part of it. It's like, well, I'm really going to get this specific step. I'm just giving an example, I got to get this step. I got to get this step. It's like, okay, you're working on getting this step and your body has to have the memory of it, right? So it's like, okay, well, instead of staying in the studio for 8 hours, it's like, go to lunch, take a day off, walk around in the park, see how the birds move or something. There's a little bit of that. This is, you have to really, the rest is really a really important part of it. Okay. And then I have the Page of Swords, so that's like a new idea, a new way of looking at things, a new perspective. It's Archangel Michael. It's really clear thought, right? And it's almost like out of nowhere, almost like, oh, I never thought of it like that. And then I have the Fool, which is fabulous, right? The Fool is the first card in the deck. The Fool is full of like, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try something new. And I know it's going to work out. And I'm really, innocent, and I'm completely going to try something new. The other thing is, it's so hard with this backwards, forwards. The dog. The dog is his soul. The dog is his soul. So, sometimes we step out and we try something new and we're a little unsure or a little bit like, oh, I think I'm going to look like a fool. But it's like your soul is with you. Your soul is with you. So, and sometimes, we need to like go, maybe go veer off the road a little bit to know that it's not the right thing. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because I have a really good feeling about it. Yeah. And then you're going to manifest it. Yeah. Yeah. There's also an energy in that card. He's very verbal. There's a real verbal energy in that one. So that's really about affirming. I understand this dance move. I manifest the talent, whatever. So there's a real verbal element to him. I don't talk about it much, but there's a real, and you have all the tools you need. So there's an element of speaking it into existence. There's an element of speaking it into existence. Very nice. Very nice. Nice reading. Good cards. Good cards. Right? Stability, newness, beginning, leadership. You got it. That was a good reading, girl. Mm. That's the hardest part about being human, isn't it? Getting older. And I hang around with so many young people, and I feel really young. I really do. On the inside, I feel really young. And then every so often, it's like, like I'm attracted to somebody at one of the things, and it's like, oh, they're only 40 years, there's only a 40-year difference there. It's like, oh, not that I have a problem with that. I don't really care. But it's like there's a different head, different perspective in life. Okay. And your picture, Sandy, you don't look like a crone girl. You look like a fair maiden. All right. So, let me see. Look at that. I get great cards because I was sort of asking, it's like, what can she do to like improve her health or improve, right? Like, how can she make herself more healthy? Like, that's what I was kind of asking, right? And I get the Fool. So it's like, do something new, right? Be enthusiastic. And then I get the Nine of Pentacles, right? Nine of Pentacles is a really powerful card. So the Nine of Pentacles, 9 is attainment. And, the Pentacles, by the way, so almost everybody reads them as money because they are money, but they're anything physical. So they're money, their food, their health, their time, their security. That's what the Pentacles, there's a lot going on with Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is the card of gain. You know what I got immediately when I pulled it? It's like, spend more time in nature. Spend more time in nature. Spend more time with flowers. Spend more time with trees. Spend more time in the park. Spend more time outdoors. Because there's a tremendous healing in the earth. Like the first person was asking about Gaia, and there's a reciprocal relationship going on with ourselves and nature and the earth. So, and this is also, it's alone time. It's alone time. It's like, I have my alone time to spend with the earth, whatever that means. That could even just mean growing flowers in your house, right? Or, plants or whatever. Dog, animals too, right? With animals, dogs, cats, horses, whatever. There's an energy there. There's an energy and a healing to, because knowing what we're all part of it and it's part of us, and there's tremendous healing. So the big adjustment, and the thing that's changed everything for me here, because I've been living in Mexico for about a year and a half, give or take. I get to be in the sun every single day, and it's changed my entire outlook. It's changed everything, really has. So, maybe in like more northern climates, we need to like, work our way through it, unless you live in like sunny California. All right. And then I get the joy. So, and this one's alone, but this one's together with others, right? So there's an energy of like artistic inspiration, there's an energy of community, there's an energy of happiness, but I think it's a combination of the two. A certain amount of time spent alone in nature, and then with the people. Also, it's really important to spend the time with the people who are joyous, people who are loving, who are fun, who are artistic, or people who love to laugh, right? Because you hang around the ones you're like, because I don't know how old you are, but if I hang around with like a certain element of person, like I'm going to be 60 and like soon, and I could hang around with like, oh well, I'm going to collect Social Security because I have this thing in my neck, and like I don't hang around with people like that. I hang around with like young people who just want to go dancing, so I go dancing with them. You know, like that's part of it. I hope that was helpful. It was a fun reading, really good cards. Hmm. I'm switching to the questions. Okay. I will. Nivra, what a beautiful name. I will be able to. Will I be able to manifest the money for my trips to Nigeria and Guatemala? How exciting to teach a new class. Hmm. This is interesting. All right, I have the five. So the five is like this card of like disappointment, right? It really is. It's a card of I mean, look at it. So I think initially you're going to be like, oh, it didn't work out. I don't know. La 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 la. Okay. But the fives are always a choice and always a change and always a perspective thing. Now, if we concentrate, I can't do this. It's so hard, the opposite. Um, if we concentrate, this goes for all of us really, on the things, it's like, oh, this didn't work out, that didn't work out. And if I put all my energy there, it's going to continue to not work out. But if I change my perspective and turn around, Jesus Christ, this way, toward the cups that are there, what I do have, what I do have, what is working, right? Then I change my perspective, and then I get the justice card. And the justice card, it's not going to say it's a definite yes or a definite no. The justice card means things become clear and things become balanced. Things become clear and things become balanced. Okay? And then I have like, what it feels like? It feels like initially it's not going to work out, right? This is what I'm feeling. Okay. Initially, you're like, oh God. But then this new illumination comes through, this new balance comes in. And like maybe you come to realize, why do I want to? teach these classes in these specific places, something like that. Like what's the core of it behind why I want to do it? Like I'm going to get really in touch with that. And that's when, you know, something shows up, like you're offering something and you're offered the same back. That's when it shows up. But I feel like there's a balance that has to happen in your head and in your heart. And then something shows up to like bring it together. And there might be a part of it that you have to give up. It's like, well, I thought I could go for a month, but now I can only go for 2 weeks. Or the other thing I was getting earlier is like, I think you might be able to make one trip and not two. So it's like, okay, well, I really wanted to go, it's almost like, I don't know, you going shopping for food and I don't know, you know, you want to get an onion and tomato, but you realize you only have like enough for one or the other. So it's like, okay, I'm going to make a decision here. I'll make a decision here because there's something that actually I think you willingly give up after looking at it in a clearer fashion. It's sort of like, well, maybe it was, too long, or maybe. So there's definitely a shift about. I mean, I think you can manifest the money, but it's going to take some time. And I think there's like a mental shift that goes on beforehand. I think there's a mental shift that goes on beforehand that needs to be balanced in a new way, in a clear way before it manifests. So it's a bit of a process because this one's really about a process. This one's really about a process. So that's what I get for you. That's what I get for you. I know. I know. I love to, answer questions yes or no, but it doesn't really not. It never quite works like that. Anyway, Paula. So the rest of 2023. All right. I wonder what Nancy's doing. Maybe she's baking cookies and she's going to send them to Mexico. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. She's like, oh, yeah, I say I'm really going to work on the microphone, but All right. Oh, and be sure to check out, I have a series called Tarot Tuesdays where I go through the deck card by card. I'm up to the Tower, and I'm going to be doing the Star this week. I already have my outline because I write things down. I don't want to forget anything, because sometimes you do something, you say something, and especially if I'm like teaching, I don't want to forget anything. So I write it down, and I want to make sure I'm thorough, All right. That's on my channel, Ripe Color. How does the rest of the year look? It feels good. I know. I had to say something. It looks like you're going to have an opportunity to rebuild stuff. That's what it looks like. It looks like, because I have, look, I have this one, not the happiest card, but it's a 5. It's a change in security, a change in maybe finances, a change in a sense of hope. There's an energy here of I'm bringing myself in out from the cold. I'm bringing myself in out from the cold. Like that's what I'm getting. I'm bringing myself in out from the cold, and I'm going to go where it's warm, where there are opportunities, where there's hope, right? And then once I get into that mode, right? Then I kind of buckle down. When I was a kid, right? I always got in trouble with my homework and all that crap. Jeffrey's the smartest kid in the class, but he needs to buckle down. And it's like, oh, shut up. It's the same thing every year. It's like, I'm not buckling down because it's not interesting. Anyway, unless it was interesting. If it was interesting, I got a great report. All right. But I'm going to build something. Finally, you can see the pentacle in this one. So nights are about action, but this one doesn't move. It's really interesting because he's building a foundation and he's really steadfast and really serious and really responsible and really focused until he gets done what he needs to get done. So first, I think there's an energy of like, yes, I can do it. Yes, there's hope. Yes, that the help will come. Yes, I'll be supported. Right. And then you start and you work and you work, but it's not bad work. It's productive. He's very productive and practical. And then the page comes. So a new opportunity comes and enthusiasm, a lot of yellow, and an opportunity. And it's like, well, this is an opportunity. It almost feels like an opportunity out of the blue, like something you didn't expect. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to take that. Yeah, yeah, that's what it feels like. So it's definitely a transition, and it definitely has to do with seizing a new opportunity, seizing it, um, and working with it. It's a nice energy. It's a nice energy. Ta-da! I hope that was helpful, Paula. You know what it also feels like in a way? It feels like maybe you're going to start like a new business or a new something, and um, first it's almost like you have to see it in your mind's eye and know like it's going to work and have like it's like, yeah, I'm going to put my effort toward this and it's going to work, and and I'm going to get really serious and do what I need to do, and then it does work. Linda. Linda, from my heart to your heart, I hope you get everything you need and everything you want. From my heart to all our hearts, like that, we all get that. Believe me. Okay. The only chat I have is a private chat. If I see the comments, it gets very confusing for me. So, because then I can't concentrate on this, so I'm not looking at them. So don't feel bad, like if you said something and I didn't answer, because it's like I don't see them. Just as an aside. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. You know, you can really, in a certain, like, there are yes cards and no cards, but there are certain cards that are like, yes. And there are certain cards that are no, right? But this is like probably maybe the biggest yes in the deck. Okay. But you gotta remain on a budget. You gotta look at it really carefully. You gotta still manage it in a really practical way. Right? This is the miser. He's practical and he's stable, but that's because he's very frugal. I hate being frugal. Yeah. Trust your intuition, right? It's like my first instinct says to pay this bill first. My first instinct says to call a friend. My first instinct says whatever, and just follow it. And because it's going to be really clear, actually, what you need to do. It's going to be clear. And, remain confident. Remain confident. Like, because, I know for myself, if I go down that road of fear of it's not going to work out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, like it's really easy to fall down that road. It's really easy and it takes on its own life. But if I maintain a certain amount of it's going to be okay. It'll all work out. I don't know how. I have confidence. I have confidence that all everything works out for my highest good and highest healing at all times. Because like the attitude and the energy that we put out really does. It really does. Even though, you know, it's like, oh, well, it's not exactly. It's like, yeah, it does, and that's the change. That's the change in thinking. And this, what's interesting about this one? Sometimes I read this one. This would be the last card for this reading. It's a 5. Sometimes how I read this card is like, stop being a tyrant in your own head. Just stop being a tyrant. Stop, oh, if I didn't do this, then I'd have the money. Like, stop that. That is not going to help. Oh, if I'd only made this decision, if I only took this job, blah, 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 blah. It's like, that is not going to be productive and useful. So stop it, right? Be confident, right? You'll get the messages. They'll be clear. Whoops. And you'll be practical. So, okay. That was like a little mini reading for me. They all are. Hi, Evelyn. Okay, I have to reread that one. Sorry. I'm an empath, and I can give energy to others. Anxiety. Well, because you have a gift, girl. Because you have a gift. That's one of the gifts you have. But you could also, Evelyn, if they make you uncomfortable and they make you, I don't know, you could say, you know what, can you show this to me in a different way? Or, and/or, I'm happy to see those energies if that's what you want me to see, but I'm open to seeing energies of light as well. I'm open to seeing energies of healing, of angels. Like I'm open, So if you're going to give me, not pretty stuff to look at, can I get some pretty stuff to look at too? It's like we're in communication anyway, and it's like, just ask. Because sometimes when it becomes too overwhelming or like there's a change happening in my life, I'm like, okay, I can feel this change happening, but I want it to happen in peace. Can it happen as peacefully as possible? Please. Can it please happen as peacefully as possible, and for it to be not too overwhelming for me, right? It's almost like, you go and you get like this beautiful thing to eat, and you're like, and it's like, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to digest it well. And it's like, okay, well, or it's sort of like when you're a kid, it's like, mommy, I ate my vegetables. Now I want my dessert. I ate the vegetables. Now I want the dessert. Okay. I did my part. Now, can you do your part, mommy? Otherwise, I'm going to throw a tantrum, the likes of which you've never seen before in your life. So that's my little take. I mean, I could throw cards. I'll throw some cards. I want my dessert and I want it now. Look. I think it has to do with what I just said. This is a new direction, right? A new hope, a new lightness, new messages. So it's like, okay, you give me the gift to see some dark, and I'm grateful for it because it can help people. But I'd also like to see some light to balance it out. because she balances stuff as well. I'm not even going to throw another card. That's what I got for you, girl. Candy. I love that name, Candy. All right. I have a job to do and a timeline. I have a job to do and a timeline. We're going to accomplish the task and we'll be happy. I have a job to do. I have a timeline. We'll be happy. Okay. It's very important to trust your inner light. It's very important to take these actions with really a sense of interior knowledge, okay? And there's also an energy in this card of being very scholarly and it's a card of Virgo, very scholarly, very meticulous, very leaving no stone unturned, learning everything you can learn. There's a real energy of that. It's like, it has to be very organized and very efficient and very, like, that's what I get. Like, it's because this card is like that. He's a scholar. He's he's a hermit. He's a scholar. He looks at every little detail, and then he relies on his light to do that. Okay. So, and then I get, like, this is pretty much a card of happiness. This is a card of stability. This is accomplishing a goal. So that looks good. I don't know if the spring is the thing for you, but this could be a spring card really easily, really easily. I don't really usually read it like that, but this could, I don't think out of all the cards, this is one of the major spring cards. Okay. And it's very stable, very comfortable. It's a little celebration. It's home-y. The British say homely when they mean homey. So sometimes you read these reviews of an Airbnb, it's like, it's very homely. It's like, what do you mean? The place looks nice. But for them, the word homely is more homey, what we call homey, or, comfortable, whatever. And then I get the 10 of Pentacles. So, like, this is like a yes, a good outcome. Yes, a good outcome. Yeah. Right? You accomplish the goal. It's complete. 10 is also completion. You have the 4. Looks good. Looks really good, actually. But this is the deal. This is the deal. It's really this really exacting, really meticulous, leave no stone unturned, like that energy. So that's my little take for you, Candy. Okay. It's weird not being with you, Nancy. Ronnie. You know what I'm hearing? Why not? So I don't know if you're looking. I don't know if you're like, maybe you're, that, like, what it was like, why not? Very like matter of fact, like, why not? Is this a second job? I don't know. Is it a second job? That's what I kind of got. I mean, I got the 2 of Pentacles, so it's like, okay, yeah, it might be a little weird, because sometimes, you go for jobs and it's like, we want you to come back and we'll get back to you next week and then I'll get back to you for 2 weeks. And, it's like, could be a little bit of that, right? It's a little, we got to stabilize. Like I have a friend who's offered a second job for really quite a lot of money. And I read some cards from him. It was like, oh, this is definitely yes. And they were like, oh, we'll get back to you. It took them a much longer time. but he got it, but it took a much longer, because it was like red tape and government and this, da, 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 da. So, okay, so I get that. But then I get the 10 of cups, which is great, being fulfilled, right? Feeling at home, which is, that's what I'm getting actually. So, because I have both of these cards basically of home. So I'm getting this feeling of feeling stable and feeling at home. And maybe that's the clue. That's the clue. You know how sometimes you can go into a place and you go on an interview or whatever, and you really want that job, and then you're like, you get there, and it's like, I don't know, like the whole place is like, I thought I wanted this, but now that I'm here, I'm not sure. So I think the clue is this could actually be looking at two jobs. Just got that. This could be looking at two jobs, right? And one of them, it's like, oh, we got a lot of money for you. But like you walk into the interview and it's like, this place is really uptight or whatever it is. And then you go to the other one, you're like, but it feels really homey. They feel really loving. It's like, I think that's the key. I think that's the key. You're looking for it. And I got a yes. It's another card, just like the sun, the Empress, the Star, the Sun, probably are the best cards in the deck. Maybe Strength, Judgment's pretty good. A lot of them are like that, but those three in particular for me are like, wow. So abundance, fertility, creativity, flow, opportunity, pregnancy, really, really lovely, really lovely. Bringing in the harvest, fertile, continually growing, in process, nice. So I'm getting a definite yes, but it might take a little time or it might be a little weird, a rebalance, but so what, so what? It's kind of like I made a wrong turn on my way to my destination. Oh my God, I'm going to be late, la, 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 la. And then what ends up happening, because you're on that other road by accident, you actually get there on time, it's fine. Or your friend that you're supposed to meet at 2 o'clock wasn't there until 10 after 2, just like you. So, I like a little bit of that, but not a biggie, just somewhat. Really nice. You got the Empress, for God's sake. You got the Empress and the 10 of Cups and the 4, Yeah. That's what I got. That was a nice reading. That was a really nice reading. I'm here, and thanks, Jeffrey, for your reading. Tech support is taking my machine apart this weekend. Yay. We'll be back up and on camera next week. Okay, kids, blessings to you. Please check out my channel. I'm doing Tarot Tuesdays. I do intuitive messages pretty often. And I do all sorts of stuff. And as well, and Nancy does all sorts of stuff. And I know that a lot of you here, know that. And thanks for being patient, and thanks for sticking it out with us. And have a lovely full moon. Have a lovely full moon, blue moon. And see you all soon. I'm going to call you on the phone, Nancy, and complain.